Now, I understand that things haven't exactly gone according to plan post WrestleMania 30 for the WWE. I can appreciate that they can't game plan for their WWE World Heavyweight Champion getting a neck injury and having to have surgery and having to go on the shelf for a long enough period of time where you actually have to go ahead and strip them of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I understand that the WWE's in a bit of a pickle here. I understand that this wasn't the ultimate plan and this wasn't the end game that they had envisioned. However, I look at this opportunity, and it is an opportunity for the WWE to do something different, to reinvigorate their product a little bit, to excite the fan base again, similar to the excitement that a lot of you had coming out of WrestleMania 30 when Daniel Bryan cemented his place as the greatest Breakfast Club killer of all time by beating Triple H and then winning the triple threat by submitting Dave Bautista to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That reinvigorated the fan base quite a bit, at least in the short term, and then you decided to feud him with Kane. Oh, heavens, oh, God. This is an opportunity again for the WWE to reinvigorate the fan base at a time where they need to reinvigorate that fan base. But I just get this overwhelming sense of doom. I get this overwhelming sense of gloom. I get this overwhelming sense of despair and fear that the WWE is going to seize upon this opportunity to play it safe and do more of the same old boring bullshit. Which really makes me wonder, will John Cena be the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion? Now, as of right now of me recording this, there are count them, four officially announced names for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder match at Money in the Bank. That's Alberto Del Rio, that is Randy Orton, that is Cesaro, and that is Sheamus. Those are the four officially announced matches. The way I would envision it right now, with the way that they have kept Bray Wyatt and John Cena post-Payback kind of associated with each other, but not completely and totally engulfed in each other, that would make me believe that one or both of them, probably both of them, would be involved in that WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder match at Money in the Bank. And I would envision maybe one or two more individuals perhaps being added to the match. But I just get this overwhelming sense of doom that the WWE is going to look at this and they actually believe the crap that Daniel Bryan is a B-plus player, that a guy like him can't be counted on to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So as a result, they need to play it safe. And of all times, if the number 2 babyface is out of commission and he can't be the champion, then what better way to combat that by then having your top guy and your so-called alleged number 1 babyface being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Oh, God. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm one of the ones that's been beating the drum very early for several months now that the main event of WrestleMania 31 needs to be Roman Reigns versus John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And I have explained my reasoning for that in a previous video and have talked about that in other videos as well. And I do think that at some point in time, you do need to go there, and a lot of us are just going to have to grin and bear it and plug our noses and just deal with the shit at that time until we got to something different. But right now is not the time to do this. Right now is not the time to go barking back up the tree that you've been up 14 times before already. Right now is not the time to sit there at a time where you need to reinvigorate your fan base, create new stars, give us something different, something fresh, something exciting by sitting there and giving us the same old fucking WWE World Heavyweight Champion in a John Cena, making him a 15-time world champion. This is not even just a John Cena basher hate piece. This is more so a reality check for the WWE. What do you hope to accomplish if you made a John Cena WWE World Heavyweight Champion out of Money in the Bank? Let's look at this from the standpoint of the compelling or interesting feuds that he could have. Look at the other people involved with the match. Bray Wyatt and him have been in a program for a couple of months that frankly should already be over. So what, you're going to have them have a pay-per-view match over the title? People are going to know Bray Wyatt's not going to win. You're not going to extend a program between Cena and Wyatt for that long. Sheamus, you're the United States champion? I don't think you're going to have him feud over the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at this point. You look at Randy Orton. You've been up that road hundreds of times before. Never again. Ever. And I doubt even the WWE would be stupid enough to go back down that path again. But again, I'm always open to being surprised, and the WWE sure as hell knows how to surprise you. And I highly doubt that John Cena versus ADR feuding over the WWE World Heavyweight Championship is going to captivate anybody whatsoever. The point I'm getting at here is if you're looking at it from a standpoint of there being good business reasons to make a John Cena the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, I say, what good business reasons? The only real interesting, potentially compelling feud that you would have for him, based off of the people that either are announced for the Money in the, or that WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder match, or will be, is Cesaro. One feud, one interesting, compelling feud, and that is it. So if your whole thing is that you just need somebody to do it for the time being and you need a placeholder because maybe once he does come back, you will find a way to put the belt on a Daniel Bryan, why fucking go there with a John Cena? Why not have a Bray Wyatt win the belt and give him a trial run? Why not give the belt to a Cesaro and give him a trial run? That way you have a Paul Heyman as a heel manager associated with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship where some baby faces can chase after him. To me, there are so many more possibilities and so many avenues to excite the fan base that don't involve John Cena winning that fucking ladder match at Money in the Bank. And it just, I have this fear and I have this feeling that they're going to put John Cena in this match. And that they're going to be very, very tempted because it's the safe way to go. And they truly feel that they can make him the greatest WWE superstar of all time. That they're going to want to really and truly stamp Cena's place as the greatest of all time by having him win this fucking ladder match because nobody else measures up to him. And you got to play it safe now because business isn't that great. And you got to have John Cena win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship because, again, that's going to put a shit ton more asses in front of the television and in the seats, right? Oh, good Christ almighty. You know, to me, I look at it right now and say, will he win it? There's a very good chance. Anytime it involves John Cena in a title match, there is always a great, outstanding chance that he will win it. Should he win it? Oh, fuck no. Like I said before, I advocate him winning the title sometime late in 2014, early 2015 to get to the ultimate endgame that I think should be the main event of WrestleMania 31 with him and Roman Reigns because I think that could represent something important at that time. But now is not the time to do this. Now is not the time to do this. To me, you have three compelling options of what you can do with this WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder match at Money in the Bank. You have three real possibilities to me of guys that you can have win this and have it work and reinvigorate the fan base a little bit and excite the fan base a little bit. Number one is a guy that hasn't been announced yet, and I'm frankly not even sure if he's going to be announced yet, and that's going to be Seth Rollins. And the reason I say Seth Rollins, even though I don't technically really fully view him as ready for that prime time of a slot yet, you're talking about a guy that was a part of one of the more popular and successful factions in some time in the WWE, a part of a faction that won several key matches throughout its year and a half plus of existence. Now you're taking a faction that just beat Evolution, featuring three main eventers, three former world champions, three WWE Hall of Famers. They beat them 2 pay-per-views in a row. You split them up for the fuck all of it with Seth Rollins saying this is good for Seth Rollins and good for Seth Rollins' business. Well, what better way to actually build credibility in that character? What better way to surprise people? What better way to do something different? What better way to create some new layers to both Evolution as a group and as a storyline and The Shield as a group than a storyline than having Seth Rollins win that WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Money in the Bank? Think about that. Why did he leave the group? Because as long as he was with the group, he was never going to be able to achieve the ultimate prize. He was always going to be doing something for the betterment of the team and the betterment of others and the group and not for himself. Now if he sits there and he goes to Money in the Bank and he wins that championship title, then it makes all the fucking sense in the world why he would have left the group. because his association with Triple H got him into that fucking match. His association with Triple H gave him a shot to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And then he went out there and executed and was able to do what Seth Rollins could do and win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, would it work on a long-term standpoint? No, probably not. But from a short-term standpoint, I think it could work. It could build some believability and credibility and relatability to the Seth Rollins character and what he did and why he did what he did. I think that's one option. Probably not the option that they would go with. Two, maybe a Cesaro. You look at Cesaro being aligned with Paul Heyman. You aligned him with Paul Heyman for a reason. You really want us to feel that Cesaro is a future top guy. Well, if you've got Heyman there and you've taken such great lengths after the ridiculous decision to end the streak at WrestleMania 30, you've gone to such great lengths to sabotage any babyface run for Cesaro that you had to associate him with the guy associated with the 1 in 21 and 1 in Paul Heyman. Well, you need to follow through on that. You gave him that big signature moment at WrestleMania 30, having him win that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Now is the time maybe to go with Cesaro and have him become the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Because for Cesaro, as a heel, he could feud with somebody like a John Cena. You could maybe split him off from a Paul Heyman, and as a face, Cesaro could feud with a guy like a Bray Wyatt. He could feud with somebody like a Brock Lesnar. To me, there are more possibilities and more intriguing options for a Cesaro as a WWE World Heavyweight Champion at this point than there is for a John Cena. And then you get to the third option, and I think this maybe needs to be the option that they go with. If you're going to sit there and go through with ending the streak at WrestleMania 30, then by God, you need to follow through on it, and you need to go all the way with it. Of course, in the genius of this, they had a part-timer break, and they basically put the UFC over the WWE already, and they have a guy that hasn't appeared on television in a couple of months now. What better way to bring in some new interest into the WWE? What better way to sit there and reinvigorate that fan base a little bit, get people talking again, and do something productive around the time in August and September, during those kind of dog days of summer when all those WWE subscriptions are going to be set to start expiring and be up for renewal, than to have a Brock Lesnar come back, be a surprise entrant in that WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder match at Money in the Bank, win the fucking thing. Now you could sit there and you could have him feud with a John Cena. You could have him sit there and feud with a Cesaro. To me, there are a lot of options and a lot of possibilities of what you could do. And you don't need Brock Lesnar to be a long-term champion. You could sit there and just have him be a placeholder. He has a match with Cena. He has a match with Cesaro maybe at SummerSlam, where Heyman is the kind of catalyst for it. And then maybe if you want to go with Daniel Bryan, you could bring Daniel Bryan back around Night of Champions, and he could have a match against Brock Lesnar. Maybe somehow, some way, he miraculously beats him to become the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. To me, there are so many more options and so many more possibilities by going in one of three different directions, none of which come back to freaking John Cena being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. The WWE has a really nice opportunity here to do something different. The WWE has a nice opportunity to potentially get people talking about their product again, get a little bit more of a positive perspective going about the product again, potentially even make a nice new star, and, all the while prevent themselves from falling into their old patterns, their old habits, their own tricks of just doing the same old boring bullshit. I implore the WWE, think this out. Realize the opportunity that you have and make the most of it. If you want to have Bray Wyatt win this belt and Money in the Bank, so that way Daniel Bryan can come back and take it in a month or two, fine, terrific, I don't care. That's terrific. It keeps it off of fucking Cena right now where it doesn't need to be. You want to have Cesaro win it? Fine, it can work. To me, you could have Seth Rollins win it, and it would work. Fine, do it. You could have Lesnar be a surprise and have him come back and win it. Fine, do it. All of these things that could tide you over in the meantime that don't involve more of the same old boring WWE John Cena problem bullshit.